You got your cheat sheet too?
Liver.
I know that, but his lever's messed up.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Ooh.
Make sure you take a long breath before you start, okay?
Oh, I know. Do they get like oxygen tanks?
Oh, we could bring it over if we have to. Start the deep breathing exercise.
How much money is Joe Neville spending tonight?
He's trying to spend all of it. Leave some for next month. 15 seconds.
Okay.
10. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening. I would like to call the Public Work and Utility Committee. It's on. Yeah, is it not working? Hello? Earth calling. Huh? Yeah? Okay. All righty. So, one more time. I'd like to call the Public Work and Utility Committee to order for March 25th, 2019. May I have a roll call, please?
Chairperson Newell,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Gata,
Present.
Trustee Palafis, Trustee Mills,
Present.
Trustee Stanton.
Present.
Trustee Arnett,
Present.
Mayor McLeod.
Present.
Okay, all accounted for, and we have a quorum. The next item would be the approval of minutes from February 25th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Under new business, we're going to be a little busy. We have 11 items, so sit tight. Item number 1, recommend approval of a request by Baum Revision LLC for a resolution for the acceptance of the public improvements for Duluth Trading Company.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there anything you need to add, Mr. Neville? Or, oh, Mr. Wenderski? Oh, okay, you too.
This should be just typical with many developments, private or public, there'd be some portion of public improvements that eventually become ours. This case would be the water main loop on the site. This is the last step to make it official.
Okay. Any questions up here? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 2, request authorization to request proposals for design engineering services for Almond Lane culvert replacement.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions up here?
Sure.
Trustee Stanton?
How bad is it?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's very concerning. We've already had the washouts on the surface, and the main concern is that could start happening in the pavement area. It was right adjacent to the pavement area right now. So there's no bottom left to the pipe, so its structural integrity is pretty much gone at this point.
How many other culverts do we have out there? I mean, we have another one that we're gonna be doing too, right?
Is Almond?
Yeah, the Autobahn culvert, which is one street downstream, that was already identified previously and was
Correct.
budgeted this year.
Yeah, is there anything else out there that we know of that's gonna be needing repair soon?
Well, we have the projects that were identified in the CIP, part of the storm sewer analysis program. There's several, pipes that we consider a priority but haven't reached the condition that this is.
Okay,
So that's what we know about right now.
all right. Thanks.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 3, request authorization to extend 2017 contract for 2019 concrete maintenance/restoration to Mondi Construction Incorporated, doing business as Rye Construction, Concrete Incorporated, out of West Chicago, Illinois, which was the low bid, at a unit price of $6.25 per square foot for the sidewalk, $23.50 per lineal foot for curb replacements, and $54.50 per square yard for driveway apron replacements, in an amount not to exceed $115,000.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second.
This is just the annual sidewalk program, obviously, and then all the restoration work that we do after we do excavations for water main leaks or sewer leaks.
Okay. Trustee Stanton?
Just out of curiosity, a driveway apron, how much would that normally cost at this price that we have?
Depends on the size of the apron. 20 by,
Are you asking what it would be if a homeowner went to get it done themselves?
Well, no, us. We have to replace them, right, when we do these streets sometimes?
This is only for excavations that we do. This isn't part of the road reconstruction.
Oh, okay.
But we do have some excavations where we are taking out sections of driveway apron. We do know that if we're in the area and the homeowner is able to contact Mondi, they will do their aprons at this price if they're in the area. And that way the homeowner pays for it. It's a separate deal between the homeowner and the contractor, but they will do work at these prices. It's significantly cheaper than if a private homeowner went to get their driveway apron done.
Okay. Maybe I don't understand the term apron. I thought it was just between the sidewalk and the street.
it is.
That's the apron.
Okay. And we don't pay for it?
It's not.
The village does not pay for it?
If we disrupt the apron as a result of our excavation to fix a water leak, we pay for 100% of that and we take care of everything. If a homeowner has an apron that's sinking and they just want to replace it, the apron is theirs. It's their responsibility to replace.
Right, so when we do the road project, if we're meeting the same grade, in other words, the road's not going up or down or being canted for drainage purposes in any way, and we're just pulling out the gutter line but not the apron, we're not gonna pay for anything there. If the resident wants to do it, they can take advantage of our price. If we go back far enough into the apron to make the transition an appropriate transition to meet the same slope that they originally had, and it may or may not be the full apron. It could be a half apron, it could be a three-quarter apron. The goal is to bring it back in and put it back in the condition it was at the same slope. So we don't pay, we're not responsible for 100% unless we do something to change the access.
Okay. No, I was just curious because last time they did my street, they did my apron. I didn't pay
We
for
may have
anything.
changed the, the aprons in your area are pretty short. I mean, from curb to sidewalk.
Correct.
In some areas, they're much, much bigger, so the transition is easier to make. In your case, when you start to excavate it out, you probably end up taking it all out anyway, because it's a very narrow parkways.
Yeah, okay. All right, thanks.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 4, request authorization to extend the 2018 contract for the 2019 season landscape maintenance services for A and B locations, village-owned sites and state county rights-of-way to V. Cardenas Landscaping out of East Dundee, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $75,203.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 5, request authorization to award contract for 2019 season landscape maintenance services for C and D locations, village-maintained detention areas, park-type properties, and various cul-de-sac islands to Nilco Incorporated out of Woodstock, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $63,444.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Seeing no questions, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 6, request authorization to extend 2017 contract for the 2019 sidewalk raising mudjacking program to Raise Right out of Carroll Stream, Illinois, which was the low bid, at a unit price of $2.03 per square foot for sidewalk in an amount not to exceed $20,000.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Seeing no questions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 7, request authorization to waive bidding and purchase 2 new front snowplows for use on the 2019 budgeted trucks using Sourcewell contract discount from Linco Equipment Sales out of Maryville, Indiana, in an amount not to exceed $31,554.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. No questions, all in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 8, request authorization to waive bidding and purchase 2 replacement trucks through Suburban Purchasing Cooperative Contract from Curry Motors, Frankfort, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $81,576.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. No questions, all in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 9, request authorization to extend 2017 contract for 2019 contracted weed control and fertilization for various village-owned sites and rights-of-way to True Green out of Carpentersville, Illinois, which was the low bid, in an amount not to exceed $15,120.
So moved.
Second.
Second, no questions, all in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 10, request authorization to award contract for engineering services to study and evaluate the village's water distribution systems for infrastructure capital project planning to Burns and McDonnell out of Downers Grove, Illinois, in a total amount not to exceed $66,300.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions? Anything to add on that one? Nothing? Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 11, request authorization for village to participate in joint purchase with the state of Illinois, State Bid Table A, Option 1, for the 2019-2020 procurement of road salt in the amount of 5,500 tons.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. No questions, nothing to add, correct?
This,
or do
this
you-
was what typically happens with the state. They gave us about a week and a half's notice and said we have to give them notice by April 1st, how much road salt we want for next snow season. So Kelly and I looked at what we believe we have in the dome and, made some, we're looking to fill the dome back up if we can. We lowered our order the last few years, and that our dome is kind of depleting a little bit. We have plenty right now. We have
Okay.
over 1,500 tons of salt still left in
That
the
was going to
dome.
be my next question.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we're good. We're just concerned if we have another winter. We had almost 50 inches of snow this winter. The last 3 seasons averaged about 30 to 32 inches of snow. So the snow totals for the season were significantly higher, and we also had 7 freezing rain operations, which use a ton of salt this year. We normally only have a couple a year, and we had a significant number of those. So if we have another year like we had this year, next year, we want to make sure that we have plenty of salt. So
Okay. Trustee Mills?
Are we locked into this price?
they're getting the quantities, and then they're going to bid it out.
Oh, okay.
So I think what happened, and we're kind of bracing ourselves for a significant price increase is what we're doing.
Yeah, it got expensive towards the end of the season.
It did, and I think a lot of the contractors and the vendors are telling the state that they can't honor the quantities at the price that we were paying this year. So we're hoping to get salt in the $60 a ton range, which is significantly higher than we're paying the last couple of years, but it's kind of in line to where we were a few years ago when salt was in much higher demand.
Thank you.
Trustee Stan?
My question was kind of the same. We have a certain budgeted amount. Is that going to pay for what we need?
Well, this will be for next year's budget. We have a little bit left in this year's budget. It's not much. I think we can get about 500 ton left in 2019. But what we would be doing is when we submit our budget for 2020, we would be using the 5,500 tons number and doing the math with that. And by then, I don't even know if we're going to know the price by then, because we normally don't know the price until September, October. So it'll be, I mean, we'll have it before the budget's finalized, what that price per ton is. But this will be for the 2020 budget year.
All right, so we're not going to pay for this until towards the end of the year?
We don't pay for it until it's actually a contract with the state and we place an order.
Okay.
Correct. We already purchased the maximum amount that we're able to purchase this snow season. Otherwise, we'd be buying as much salt as we can right now at this price. But we've already purchased our 120%, which is the max that we're allowed to. So we have to wait until the beginning of next snow season to purchase more salt at whatever that new price is going to be at. And we'll know that in September, October.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Seeing no other questions, and by the way, good job, you guys. I love driving in Hoffman. We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. The next that we have are reports, information only. Item 1 is Department of Public Works Monthly Report. Do we have anything additional, Mr.?
I do not.
Okay, nothing additional, so it will be received and filed. Item number 2 is Department of Development Services Monthly Engineering Report of the Transportation and Engineering Division. Do we have anything additional? Nothing? Okay, so that will be received and filed. And then we move on to the President's Report. Do we have anything, sir?
Sure, a couple things. One, Wine Wednesday this week, it'll be on March 27th. It'll be at the Bar Down Sports Grill at the Poplar Creek Bowl, the newly remodeled. So that should be a great time. This past Tuesday through Thursday, Trustee Stanton and I were, with Mr. Norris, we're in Springfield lobbying the legislature, and even met with the governor also, who was a refreshing breath of fresh air after the last 4 years. He actually knows how the government works and what municipalities do, and doesn't think that we control the schools in the northwest suburbs. He understands that, so that was very good. Friday, March 22nd, Jennifer Georgievic and I presented at the Jane Addams Career Fair, second year in a row. I think we're becoming regulars there, so that's always a good time. You get a lot of good questions from the students, and you really get to explain. You don't have to run for office or be a police officer or a firefighter to have a good job in municipal government. We have so many different departments that I think it was kind of eye-opening. That hopefully we'll get some of them to consider taking up municipal government. I did receive an email on Saturday, March 23rd, from Jeff Bean at the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Dear Mayor McLeod, we're pleased to announce that you have been selected to receive the 2019 Partner America Small Business Advocate Award for your support and work on behalf of the small business community. You have demonstrated your commitment and support of small business in Hoffman Estates by creating a business-friendly environment for businesses to grow and prosper. Your efforts have helped many new entrepreneurs fulfill their dreams and start a business. Past recipients of this award are Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney, Austin Mayor Steve Adler, Elizabeth, New Jersey Mayor Chris Ballwage, Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh, and Columbia Mayor Steve Benjamin, among several others. The conference is going to partner with the village to make a presentation, do a ceremony. It'll be about a half hour. We're tentatively looking at April 16th for the presentation and the program with the mayors, so, conference of mayors, rather. So that's exciting news. That belongs to all of us. Everybody works very hard on the village board, and the clerk and the staff, and the chamber is also exceedingly active, so that's really something for all of us. Just one other thing, if the staff does become aware of a business is going to move out or leave, can they make sure the board knows about it?
Sure.
Yeah, that's very important, because we get asked questions, and found out about Office Max from my daughter-in-law, who had to go there. She told me about it.
They're moving out?
Yeah, they're leaving.
It's news to me.
Yeah.
Office Max.
So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing under other, nothing in items in review. May we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays. Motion passed, and we are adjourned.
I'd like to call to order the Public Health and Safety Committee of the Village of Hoffman Estates on March 25th, 2019. May I have a roll call, please?
Chairman Gata.
Present.
Vice Chairman Palafis. Trustee Newell.
Present.
Trustee Mills.
Present.
Trustee Stanton.
Present.
Trustee Arnett.
Present.
Mayor McLeod.
Present.
Thank you, and we have a quorum. Number 2, approval of the minutes of February 25th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any corrections, deletions, or anything? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Under new business, we have only one item. Request approval of an automatic aid agreement between the Village of Hoffman Estates and the City of Elgin for fire and emergency medical services.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Chief, what would you like to enlighten us on?
Well, the automatic aid agreement will,
Microphone, please.
the automatic aid agreement will
Push the little button, Rich, on the bottom there.
Okay.
There you are.
Try again.
The automatic aid agreement will limit a step for our shift commanders and also for our dispatchers. Currently, we have mutual aid agreements, which means we get the help, but not in the same timely fashion.
Okay.
This aid agreement will allow our Station 24 to be filled with a company to provide medical and fire while we're somewhere else in the town fighting a fire. So if we have a fire in District 21, pretty much all of our stations empty out. We need help from our neighbors to maintain fire and EMS protection, and this will do that. It also gives them the added benefit of, in their areas, like basically Cobbler Crossing over there off a shoe factory, we can get there much faster than them, so they would like our assistance over there. It also comes into play for our ISO review. We had an ISO review in 2017. One of the areas that we were kind of looked at poorly was in our automatic aid agreements. We have a large area and we have a lot of mutual aid in the area, but what they want to see is agreements that are basically legitimized by automatic aid agreements so that people are automatically coming in and we don't have to call for help. It's just going to be there. So we were really close to an ISO 1 this year, or in 2017. By 2022, when we get reevaluated, there's a few things we can tweak to probably get a 1, and this is one of them.
Very good. Any questions from up here? There we go. Thank you, Chief. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Under reports, information only. 1, Police Department Monthly Report. Chief, anything that you'd like to add? Nothing to add, sir. Okay, received and filed. Number 2, Health and Human Services Monthly Report.
Nothing to add, thank you.
Nothing to add. Thank you. Received and filed. Emergency Management Coordinator Monthly Report. Received and filed. Fire Department Monthly Report. Anything else, Chief?
No, sir.
There we go. Received and filed. President's Report.
Nothing else, Trustee.
There we go. Nothing in other. Items in review. Looking for an adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. We are adjourned.
I would like to call the Finance Committee for March 25th, 2019. May I have a roll call, please?
Chairperson Palafis. Vice Chairperson Newell.
Present.
Trustee Gata.
Present.
Trustee Mills.
Present.
Trustee Stanton.
Present.
Trustee Arnett.
Present.
Mayor McLeod.
Present.
Okay, all accounted for. We have a quorum. First item is the approval of minutes from February 25th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any corrections? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. The other approval of minutes would be for March 4th, 2019, which was a special.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. No corrections or additions, seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Under new business, we have 5 items. The first item is request approval to issue a request for proposal for ticketing services at the Sears Center Arena.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Kaplan or Mr. Gibbs, we have
So-
anything to add?
Trustee Palafis requested this a few weeks ago, and we are bringing it forward for approval so that we can go out for a ticket RFP. We would be seeking proposals from local and regional ticketing services that would provide such services here in the Chicago area, with the idea that perhaps we could find a
ticketing service that might be more beneficial to overall ticket sales. Anything to add?
Oh, you got it.
Okay. Trustee Mills?
In the cover sheet for this, there's a paragraph, the last paragraph under background. You forgot to put in a year,
2017.
2017.
I apologize.
Okay, that's okay. Now, even though this has changed companies, if we do decide to end the contract now rather than 2 years from now, why do we still have to pay the $69,000 if it's not the same company? Did they buy it with the contract? Unfortunate for us.
The original investment by Paciolan / New Era was based on an amortization over the term plus the extension.
Okay.
So it was, I believe, 5 years plus 2 years, so it would be over 7 years as opposed to over the 5 years. So we would need to pay them back. Obviously, when we're looking at the new proposals, we would seek a company that would obviously have a better impact and be able to cover that and more in terms of either an upfront investment or or more ticket sales over time. I mean, it would have to be obviously advantageous for us to make that switch and to absorb that.
When do we think we would be reviewing this again then? When do you what's your deadline for proposals, if this gets approved?
I believe we need to give notice to Paciolan in the fall, so we would undertake this fairly soon, get the RFP out, review, evaluate, and then come back in 3 months?
I would say July, yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Trustee Stanton?
It's my understanding we wouldn't be paying back $69,930, we'd be paying only 2/7 of that?
Correct, yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I took it the other way. I thought that was 2/7.
Buried the lead on that one, yeah. Yeah, just for clarity, Paciolan's done well. We make good money and the system works well and customers seem to enjoy it. It's just, with technology advancing like it does, it's good to see what's out there. If nothing else, Paciolan might sweeten the deal. And we do want to know what their competitors are doing because this kind of stuff moves quickly. So there's a lot of emerging technologies that we may not know about. During the presentation, we'll be educated so we at least know what's around the corner. So what we might need today, tomorrow, for the next 3 years may not be what we want in 5 years. So it's just important that we're just kind of pushing the other companies to kind of tell us what they're up to so Paciolan can kind of tell us why they're better or at least can keep up with the rest. So it's an interesting field. So this is a good time for us to kind of check in on everybody.
We're going into this not with the intent that we have to make a change, but that we could make a change if, again, it made sense, or dollars and cents.
So if we change, then does all the machinery change and everything also? Is that part of the
Yeah.
deal? Or the
Yeah.
machinery we have will stay?
No, everything would change out.
It
So
would.
new scanners, new computers, if there's a server on site, that would change. A lot of stuff is cloud-based, so the hardware probably wouldn't be as impactful as it used to be, but yeah, it'd be a totally new system if we went with it. Most of the companies have proprietary technologies.
Right,
So they don't interact with one another. But, in this day and age, a company doesn't exist today. If Amazon got into ticketing, that would change everything. So we just want to make sure we know what's out there before we re-up with, Paciolan. Like I said, it's been a good company to us. It's a lucrative contract, so we don't have any issues with them. It's just, with just so many things becoming new and fashionable, we want to know we're not locking ourselves into something that will be behind the times quickly.
Right, we want to be up to date.
Speaking to the equipment, Paciolan brought that equipment in. They've upgraded it over time. They've added ticket printers when we requested it. So they would take that with them, and then the new company would bring in, if we
Their
changed, would bring in their equipment. It's not the village's equipment, it's not the Sears Center's equipment that's out there right now, so.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So that's really not, there would be a short transition period where we'd have to convert over and do some training for staff, but
Okay.
it wouldn't be a
Alrighty.
big deal.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 2, request approval of an ordinance amending Article 4, hotel tax of Chapter 13, revenue taxes and charges of the Hoffman Estates Municipal Code.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we want to give them a little update on it?
Just a little background on this one. We're just updating our hotel tax ordinance. Most importantly, this is not going to impact any of our current hotels. The process will be exactly the same for them. This is just changing some of the language so that we can pick up the online companies and the financial activities that they're doing when they rent out the hotels in the village.
Okay. Any questions?
So this will not impact the hotels that we have now, is that correct?
Correct. It will not impact them at all. They're currently paying the 6% tax. The rate's not changing.
Okay.
Nothing related to the process for them is changing. It'll be exactly the same.
Oh, very good, thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 3, request approval of an ordinance creating Article 15, which is Transportation Network Company Tax of Chapter 13, revenue taxes and charges of the Hoffman Estates Municipal Code.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Little introduction on
time.
this one.
Yes.
This is a new tax that we're looking to implement. This is a tax that's going to be on anyone who uses Uber or Lyft within the village, either arriving in the village or leaving the village. We don't think this is going to be a huge amount of activity, but with some of the events out at the arena, we think that it might capture some of those activities. So we're hoping to implement this tax.
Okay. Trustee Stanton?
How do you collect it?
We collect it directly from the Uber and Lyft companies. They're the ones that monitor all the activity, and so all of the financial activity goes through them, and they remit it directly to us.
But how do we monitor them? I mean, how do we know for sure that they're going to tell us that they picked up somebody?
That's a good question. The city of Chicago currently does it, and the city of Evanston currently does it, and they both report that it's a very easy to implement with Uber and Lyft. They're very, once we approve the ordinance, they're very receptive and they implement it right away. In terms of auditing, I'm not sure if what we would do in order to monitor it. We'd have to wait and see what kind of activity we would experience.
Okay.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 4, request approval of an ordinance reserving the village's volume cap.
So moved.
Second.
One more time, Rachel. Anything?
Art, do you want to take this one?
Oh, do you?
Volume cap.
Yes.
The volume cap, you want to say a few words?
Yeah. Many of you remember this was an annual matter that came before the board. In the state of Illinois and federal income tax, there's a provision where there's a certain amount of bonds that are set aside that can be used as tax-exempt bonds both by governmental bodies and private entities. And different governmental bodies are allocated a certain dollar amount. That benefit, the benefit of issuing tax-exempt bonds, can be used by the municipalities or it can be passed on and sold to private entrepreneurs. There was a market for this many years back when I first came here, and Jim would get a lot of calls on this, and we were, through staff, able to negotiate and sell our volume cap. Because of the low interest rates over the number of years, there's not enough difference. The tax rate, being tax exempt versus taxing, with a low interest rate, there's not enough gap there to make it economic for private developers to purchase these tax exempt rights, is what they are. And so it's kind of fallen by the wayside the last few years. However, we do try to, on an annual basis, try to reserve those rights. Normally, they expire March 1st or May 1st, I forget which.
May 1st.
May 1st.
May 1st. And they expire and then they go back to the state. However, in the state statutes, they allow the municipalities to hold on to those rights for a longer period of time if we pass this volume cap extension ordinance. So this was, back when I started 12 years ago, that it was a normal practice that we did every year. So we're just kind of covering our basis. If things change, we'll at least have this asset in our own hands. That's what it is.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Item number 5, request authorization to renew a one-year contract with Call One for local and long-distance telephone service through the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative, SPC Telecommunications Services vendor contract number 137A.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
It's our monthly phone bill.
Huh?
This is our monthly phone bill. Services for the lines, the calls that we make and faxes. That's what this amounts to. There was no charge from last year. There was no change in charges from last year. And we expect that to continue for at least another year.
Seeing no questions, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. Under reports for information only, we have number 1, Finance Department monthly report. Anything to add? Nothing to add, so it will be received and filed. Item number 2 is Information System Department monthly report. I just saw him. Nothing to add. Okay, so that will be received and filed. And item number 3 is the Sears Center monthly report. Nothing to add at this time, so that will also be received and filed. President's report?
Nothing else.
Okay,
Trustee
thank you,
Noel.
Mr. President. We have nothing under other or items in review. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No nays, motion passed. We are adjourned.
Okay, I'd like to call the special meeting of March 25th to order. Can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Arnett? Trustee Arnett?
Present.
Trustee Mills?
Present.
Trustee Newell?
Present.
Trustee Palafis? Trustee Stanton?
Present.
Trustee Gata?
Present.
Mayor McLeod?
Present. Trustee Palafis has excused absence. Can everybody please rise for the pledge? Trustee Arnett, you want to lead us? We do have one item of additional business, and I would request that when we adjourn into executive session for litigation. Okay, item 3A. Request board authorization for village to participate in joint purchase with the state of Illinois, state bid Table A, option number 1, for 2019-2020 procurement of rolled salt in the amount of 5,500 tons. Chair, is it motion?
So moved.
There's a motion and a second. Any questions on this? Seeing none, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. Chair to accept a motion to adjourn to executive session.
I will make a motion, we adjourn into executive session for the purpose of litigation, 5 ILCS 120/2 C11.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion, there's a second. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, can you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Arnett?
Aye.
Trustee Mills?
Aye.
Trustee Newell?
Aye.
Trustee Stanton?
Aye.
Trustee Gata?
Aye.
Mayor McLeod?
Aye, motion carried. We are adjourned into executive session. We will not be coming out in open meeting again this evening. Thank you.